To kick off today's show, I had a pleasure in visiting a small organization in Camden that serves as a place for hope for the youth of the community. Let's take a look.
Yeah. I keep coming back because I enjoy the environment that they set up here. It's very peaceful, and I enjoy just coming in and sitting down and working. You feel as though you can accomplish anything once you start working here. Before I came here, I was working at a donut factory. It was pretty horrible. I thought I was, never going anywhere because after I paid my bills and everything, I was out of money and couldn't do anything. But since I got here, they got me back on track with going to college.
HopeWorks is a youth development program that focuses on youth 14 to 23 to help them stay in school and to have futures. We were started over 15 years ago by three local Camden churches as a response to the youth that we had in our congregations who were not in school. Upwards of 70% of Hope or Camden youth drop out of school. So there's a large crisis here about how to connect future school with people's reality.
I think about my future. That's what helps me. So that's pretty much what
I found out about HopeWorks. I actually was, in a situation. I was unstable, homeless, didn't have anywhere to go, and my financial aid director pointed HopeWorks out to me. I'm like, really? Someplace over in North Camden is gonna help me, right? So actually, I came over here, and it was real. It was HopeWorks. He pointed me here, and it's been the best thing. I got a job, found housing, stable housing. I'm in school. It's like I'm on a right track, and that's what made me came back and keep coming back. And it's the reason why I stayed, because I'm accomplishing my goals. There's so many great opportunities that they give you. You just got to take them.
I also think about youth who make choices, right? Very hard choices. So I think of youth who get out of bed and come to HopeWorks on a daily basis when their experience of their life is so overwhelming that to simply come to HopeWorks is really heroic. And it's not understood as heroic, right? It's understood as, well, that's just what anyone would do. But when you live in a situation like Camden with so much toxic stress, so much violence, so much poverty, so much abuse and neglect, everyday things aren't everyday anymore. They're very difficult.
I definitely feel a lot more motivated now compared to when I first came in here. HopeWorks has the unique ability to make you feel like you're going to accomplish everything that you want to.
HopeWorks is the place to be, and in spite of everything that you go through, it can be the worst thing that's ever happened. Just please don't give up. I'm 19 years old, and I done been through stuff that I shouldn't have been through, but I still find myself striving for what I want, finding resources, using those resources, because that's what life is all about, learning, using your resources, asking for help. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid at all.
Through its various programs, HopeWorks has created a safe haven for thousands of young adults and will continue to do so for the city of Camden.
It's all about hope. That's pretty much it.
For more information, visit hopeworks.org to find out how you can contribute. So from one impactful story to another, here's Marissa Friedrich explaining the story behind the National Day of Action.
Columbia University student Emma Sulkowicz has been in the news recently for turning a personal tragedy into a national movement. Our own Tina Shirillo shows us how the Carry the Weight movement was not only inspired by Emma's demand for action, but also inspired others to help carry the weight of what happened to her.
For me, I was raped in my own dorm bed. And since then, that space has become fraught for me. And I feel like I've carried the weight of what happened there with me everywhere. Since then, I will be carrying this dorm room mattress with me everywhere I go for as long as I attend the same school as my rapist. And the piece could potentially take a day, or it could go on until I graduate.
In support of Emma and all sexual and domestic assault survivors, CarryingTheWeightTogether.com started a national campaign called the National Day of Action.
It's a day in which college campuses across the country are supporting the right for a survivor to speak out, the right for a survivor to have justice, and the right for a survivor to get support from everyone and anyone that is willing to give such support.
Students across the nation were encouraged to show their support by carrying a pillow on October 29th as a way to help carry the weight of those survivors.
We're supporting victims of sexual and domestic violence abuse. I'm actually a victim of domestic violence myself, so I thought it was a really important cause, and I actually told a bunch of my friends about it, so she's carrying a pillow for me today.
Yeah, I remember reading articles when it first happened online, and it really spoke to me that she would go that far to carry her mattress around the entire campus, and I thought it was just a really good idea to show support for her.
You never really realize how much it might, change your life or the way that you think or feel about yourself. And so carrying this pillow today kind of makes me feel a little bit more confident about myself and that I am a survivor and that I'm no longer a victim. And so carrying this pillow, I feel, represents those who felt that they were once victims, but now they're 10 times stronger because they have survived and they're still here.
When I saw the information about this particular campaign, the Carry the Weight campaign, National Day of Action, I thought, this is different, this is unique, and it's kind of an attention getter. As students are walking across campus carrying their pillows, they're going to be saying, people are going to be asking them, what are you doing with this pillow? I see these pillows on campus. And to be able to say, hey, I stand, I support. Are you aware of the policies? Are you aware of the information? And that it's not fair to harm other people.
People have been asking me a lot of questions so far today, and I've only been out of my dorm room for 2 hours. So I have started a lot of conversation because of carrying this pillow around, and I'm bringing a lot of attention to this case of this Columbia student. So I think that it's very important for people who show their support to carry a pillow.
Over 130 campuses in more than 30 states, including campuses in 5 different countries, participated in the National Day of Action.
If you looked at the website and on the Facebook group, they were posting, hey, I'm participating too. So even because, of course, Europe and other countries start their day earlier than we do, Bangladesh was carrying mattresses and pillows, and other countries were carrying mattresses and pillows to just show support. So it was really neat to see this go worldwide.
This happens at other schools. This probably has happened at Rider, so I think that by showing that I'm a part of this Rider community and I'm showing my support for people who are victims of sexual assaults, I think that's very important.
I think that we need to provide more action because it's really unfair that this girl has to carry around her mattress because her university ignored her claims of rape and things like that. It's something that should be recognized and addressed and not pushed down.
I think it's important to show survivors, come forward, we do support you, we are there for you. We really do want to go through the process with you and do it right. We believe in what you're saying. We believe that what happened to you, and please, please get some help, get some support, get some counseling, start healing from the process.
If you or someone you know is affected by sexual or domestic abuse, don't be afraid to seek help. You don't have to carry the weight alone.
For more about Emma's story or what you can do to help, visit CarryingTheWeightTogether.com.
It's great to see so many students participate for such a great cause. Thank you, Marissa. Now let's shift gears. Ever wonder what happens to the apples you see on the ground while apple picking? Here to tell us more is Zach Davis.
New Jersey, better known as the Garden State, is home to over 9,000 farms. Every fall, thousands of Jersey residents travel to these farms to pick up apples, pumpkins, and various other crops. However, many crops go unpicked. Reporter Tina Shrillo got the inside scoop on just what happens to all these leftovers.
Farms all across the country produce thousands upon thousands of crops every season. From apples, tomatoes, to green beans, farms are an abundance of healthy, nutritious crops just waiting to be picked. But after the day is done, what happens to all those perfectly good fruits and veggies that have fallen to the ground? For numerous farms in the state of New Jersey, those unclaimed crops get harvested and donated to those in need through a program called Farmers Against Hunger.
The Farmers Against Hunger program was started in 1996 by the farmers who were out at a farm and they saw that there was a lot of surplus produce that could be going to good use. So the group came together with the New Jersey Agricultural Society, got trucks on the road, and now today they're collecting produce statewide for delivery to community organizations serving people in need.
Farmers Against Hunger collects that surplus produce from farms all across the state.
We have over 50 farmers and also wholesale produce donors and grocery stores who donate to the program Fresh Produce, and we also collect breads from a couple other retailers. We have farms statewide from all the way down from Cumberland County and Salem County all the way up to Morris County and Warren County, Sussex County even.
Jeff, a farmer from Fernbrook Farm, has been working with the Farmers Against Hunger program for roughly 5 years and has donated upwards of 25,000 pounds of fresh produce.
It's great. I enjoy it because we hate to waste food and we hate for people to go hungry. So the convenience that they provide is one of the greatest features for us because we can call them, they'll come pick it up, and they take a wide variety of produce. And we grow a wide variety of produce, so it helps us to do something good and eliminate waste.
While many farmers harvest the crops they donate themselves, a few farms allow Farmers Against Hunger to come in and collect the produce through gleanings.
So the way gleanings work is we'll put a call out for volunteers. A farmer will call us and say, you know, I have this leftover crop that's not going to get harvested, it's just going to get plowed under. Can you get people out here? So we'll put the call out for volunteers. Facebook's been a really big help for that. It's easy to, you know, get people even the night before that way. Or we have corporate volunteers is what we have today. And they can organize teams, which is nice. So they can get 10, 20, 30 people out here. So they'll come out here, depending on whatever the crop is. Apples we pick from the ground because the farmer sells them from the trees, and you know they'll litter the ground and they're perfectly good apples and they're just going to go to waste.
Kim Bogdan, a gleaner for Farmers Against Hunger, has been volunteering for the program for about 2 years.
I just think everyone should get fresh food, no matter where they're getting it from, and all this produce goes to waste. So why not help get it off, get it back out in the community, so everybody can enjoy fresh produce.
After they have collected and loaded the produce, drivers from Farmers Against Hunger distribute those goods every week, either directly to a local food bank or to 4 central distribution stops in Camden, Mount Holly, Browns Mills, and Trenton.
So we bring the produce, we fill up a big box truck, bring the produce to these locations, which is a church, and about 8 to 10 other churches come, and they distribute all the produce among each individual church, take it back to their food pantry, and then that produce, the healthy produce, gets supplemented into their food pantries.
The families and the people who frequent those food pantries are the main reason behind all the hard work that goes into the Farmers Against Hunger program.
I had an opportunity to visit a soup kitchen last week and see their chefs preparing the meal and knowing that 300 people are going to come in and eat that produce. That same produce was on the ground that day. Some of those apples had fallen to the ground after a busy U-Pick weekend. Our team of anxious volunteers comes in, harvests them, works cooperatively, gets to see agriculture, is in touch with our mission, and then all of that goes back to those recipient organizations. So it's a really great community-wide effort between the farmers, our volunteers, the people that are able to distribute that food. We couldn't do it without the whole team.
I really like to stress the interconnectedness of people and how everything that they're handling today is going to be in someone's plate the next day. So I really try and connect people on the farm to people that are in need.
For more information, feel free to visit Farmers Against Hunger's website or their Facebook page listed below.
I'm glad to see the excess apples don't go to waste. Thanks, Zach. Now let's take it to Samantha Brescia, who shows us how easy it is for anyone to give back to their community. Take it away, Sam.
Not only does charity mean giving back to the community, but it also means saving lives. Donating blood is a simple way to be a hero and help those in need. I had the opportunity to take a closer look on how blood drives impact the lives of many.
You don't have to be a doctor or superhero to save lives. All it takes is one dedicated person with a vision to make a difference. Holding an event to raise awareness, donating money, or in this case, your blood, can save a life or 2 or 3. Fatima Hayward, a senior at Rider University, decided to hold a blood drive at the school on behalf of her organization, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. As president of the organization, she wanted to sponsor an event that would impact lives.
We decided to have a blood drive because I didn't hear about any blood drives. We wanted to do something big, something different. You don't really see a lot of sororities on campus doing something like a blood drive.
What they do in the lab is that they separate the blood components into different components like red cells, platelets, and plasma.
Okay. Donated blood is used by people who need blood. So people that are sick, people that have been in accidents, children who need blood because they have cancer and need to have their blood replaced. There's a lot of places that hospitals use blood. The blood that's donated at Ryder will be taken to the Community Blood Council, and from there it will be distributed from the Community Blood Council to local hospitals, where the hospitals will use it in a number of different ways. Most of the time it will be put into patients who need more blood.
We tabled yesterday, and it was more than 50 people that signed up. On top of that, I was also receiving a lot of emails because I had my information on the flyers that I put up everywhere.
The nurses and other people at the blood drives will consult with you to see if you are eligible to donate. Just about everybody's eligible.
I've had family members with cancer and also with liver failure, and I donate because they get transfusions a lot.
I just feel it's important. People need transfusions all the time, and I always said I wanted to save the world, so I guess this is a way to do it.
Last year, my motto that I stood by was changing lives. I was big on community service, but this year my motto, instead of changing lives, it was saving lives. So that's the reason why I wanted to do a blood drive. This is saving lives. Every person that comes in and donates, they're saving 4 people. So imagine everyone that comes in, the difference that they can make just in their community by coming and donating. So that was the main reason why I wanted to do it. I wanted to do something big. I wanted to actually have an impact. And of course, the biggest impact you can have is by saving people, giving your blood to people that need it.
If you are interested in finding out more information about donating and blood drives near you, visit redcrossblood.org. Keeping with the theme of saving lives, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and many join in the fight against this disease. Zeta Tau Alpha Fraternity is one of the largest organizations aiding in the cause, and I was able to experience their contributions to their philanthropy firsthand.
1 in 4 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer, which is the second most common cancer diagnosed worldwide. October is dedicated to raising awareness about this disease, and Zeta Tau Alpha is one of the largest organizations aiding in the fight. Collegiate and alumni chapters across the United States hold and participate in a variety of events in support of their philanthropy, breast cancer education, and awareness.
In the spring, we do Pies for Pink, and that's you get to bid on a sister and pie them in the face and other members of the Ryder community. We table throughout the month of October, and again in the spring also just handing out pamphlets, raising awareness, and raising money again. We work with some of the sports teams, and we like to pink out their events as well.
Ryder University's chapter of Zeta Tau Alpha recently attended the American Cancer Society's Breast Cancer Walk in Edison, New Jersey, and held their largest fundraising event, Tricky Tray.
Tricky Tray is a Chinese basket auction. Guests are invited to bid on the baskets by putting tickets in them, and it's like a silent auction, and they're drawn at the end, and there is regular prizes and grand prizes, door prizes, and a 50-50 raffle. This year we had a new record, and we raised over $12,000 for breast cancer.
Our philanthropy of breast cancer education awareness means so much to me because it affects so many women every day, and just knowing that I'm making a small difference in the world of some women and their family somewhere means so much to me.
While significantly smaller chapters than Collegiate, the ZTA alumni are still very active with the Foundation's philanthropy as well.
Think Pink, the Race for the Cure, which is a big event at Great Adventure. Every October, the beginning of October, we participate in that. We also go up to the Giants game, Giants Stadium, and for breast cancer awareness, because the NFL has partnered with Think Pink. Students participate and alumni participate. Well, they'll go up there and hand out the pink ribbons and just make sure everybody knows that it is definitely a good cause.
The Mercer Bucks alumni chapter of ZTA recently held a Think Pink Zumba event, and breast cancer survivor Angela McConnell taught the class.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was found under a benign cyst. I had a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. So it was a very trying time. I had a mastectomy and I had chemotherapy. And here I am 22 years later. I'm still here, thank God.
The efforts put forth by members of ZTA for their philanthropy do not go unnoticed. They were ranked 8th out of the top 25 sororities that raised the most money for their philanthropy, donating more than $380,000 in 2013.
I love everything that they've done. I think I'm very impressed. I love the fact that they still keep in touch and they do these kinds of things. And they do community service, I think, is really so wonderful.
The members of ZTA are very passionate about their philanthropy, many of them knowing someone who has battled this disease, adding to their dedication and enthusiasm for the cause.
Well, my mom is a survivor, and two of my aunts are also survivors, so it's very important to me. It's kind of very dear to my heart. I think my first Race for the Cure was very touching. I remember it being, I think, my sophomore year right after Rush or recruitment, and I haven't missed one in 14 years, so I just really like the feeling of just being with the survivors and the Survivor 10 and making a difference.
I've lost family members. I had an aunt that I lost to breast cancer. Everybody needs to know that it's curable and to not ignore it.
To help in the fight against breast cancer, visit www.cancer.org.
There are breast cancer events coming up in 2015, including the Avon Walk for Breast Cancer that is held in Houston, Washington, D.C., and Boston, among other large cities. To find the one near you, please visit avonwalk.org.
It's interesting to see how important causes can become such beneficial events that are enjoyable for everyone. Another event in our neighboring city of Philadelphia takes an interesting twist on how one can give back without even realizing it. Here's Milvian Prieto with the story.
Beer, food, and music. For the 5th year, Blocktoberfest aims to help the community and local charities through these 3 things. Daisy Rivadeneira takes a look at the Blocktoberfest festivities in South Street and how it benefits the community of Philadelphia.
Welcome to Blocktoberfest 2014!
Blocktoberfest is a free-to-attend, day-long celebration of beer, food, music, and Philadelphia. We are a non-profit street fair. All the money raised from beer proceeds goes back into the neighborhood that so generously hosts the event.
For the past 5 years, Blocktoberfest has been able to have a lasting impact in Philadelphia by effectively raising over $150,000 in beer proceeds. At the end of the event, all sales are added up and donated to various charitable causes. Organizations that address education, green space, public safety, and community development all qualify to receive a grant from this event.
We post a grant application online that anyone is welcome to fill out, detailing the criteria for how their work impacts the neighborhood. We collect all those applications right before the festival, and once we understand how much money we actually have to give away at the end of the festival, we're able to look at all those proposals. We have a sort of evaluation process that we go through with our board of directors, and they determine what the grant amounts will be for various projects.
It doesn't get easier than with just a ticket to access some of the tastiest craft beers from Pumpkin to the event's very own Oktoberfest. But the people aren't the only ones loving this fest. Businesses like the Quick Fix also seem to benefit from the shutdown of South Street.
This is now our 3rd year of doing Blocktoberfest. Every year it seems like it's gaining more and more of a success. I would say the first year I've worked here, it was definitely an experience because of being a new restaurant, we were a little bit inexperienced and not knowing what we were expecting. You know, once we finally pushed through, we finally got an idea of what this was like, and you know, things went smoother the next year, but the next year we had like double the turnout. We ended up having about 20,000 people. Today, it doesn't seem like it's as busy, but it's definitely getting packed as time goes on. You know, the weather did hold us back a little bit, but something tells me with enough alcohol and enough good food, like we're doing dollar tenders, pretty sure we can get ourselves back to the 20,000 point.
It's a huge thrill, more than anything else. It's absolutely extraordinary to be able to close down 4 blocks of South Street, one of Philly's most iconic corridors, and throw a huge party that the entire city can come and enjoy. And it's not just the city itself. We've had people that have come, emailed us saying, I'm making a trip in from Seattle, I'm coming from California, I'm coming down from Maine, and I read about your festival and I really want to learn more. So we feel like we've been able to really showcase so much of what makes the city wonderful to so many different people.
This non-for-profit event that is for the community of Philadelphia would not be able to return year in and out without the help of the community itself.
Blocktoberfest absolutely relies on an army of volunteers and the goodwill of so many people that help make the festival possible. Every year since we've been on South Street, we pull in about 125 people, 130 people that donate their time very generously. Most people's experiences with the festival is directly related to their experiences with the volunteers. We really think of them as the face of the festival, so they're tremendously important to us. A lot of the volunteers that we have this year have come back to us for the 3rd, 4th, 5th year in a row.
Exactly a month after Blocktoberfest, all proceeds from the event will be given to a local charity with a huge celebration.
And as much as the festival is in itself a wonderful day, I think that evening celebration, their dinner, and having all the people who made the event possible there gathered together is even more special, just so we can really celebrate the lasting impact that the event has, not just the day itself, but the long-lasting impact.
To get involved with next year's Blocktoberfest, check out their website below.
Thank you, Milvian. We'll definitely keep our eye out for the next Blocktoberfest. Now at these events, you can meet so many people, but in this modern era, there's alternatives. Here's Maddie Smith with the scoop.
By now, everyone has heard of online dating, but did you know that you can even meet people with an app on your phone? It's called Tinder, and here's a closer look.
People find love in all kinds of ways. When we think of how people could meet, we often picture a party, work, or school. But as we've seen in recent years, meeting someone in person is becoming less and less common. Since the early 2000s, the U.S. has seen a lot of growth in the online dating world. A study in 2013 reported that 1 in every 3 married couples met through online dating. As our technology adapts, so do the ways in which we meet others, and we're now reaching a whole new level of online dating. Tinder is a mobile dating app that uses your location to match you with the people around you. Tinder is linked to your Facebook account, so it can access your name, age, friends, and interests. Once your account is set up, it's time to begin swiping. Right for someone you like, and left for someone you don't. Before you swipe, however, you are able to tap on the person's picture to view their profile. There, you can view the rest of their pictures, their About Me section, which is usually a line or two they've written about themselves, and any mutual Facebook friends or interests that you may have. If you swipe right and they do too, it's a match. Now a messaging window will pop up and you can begin chatting. For many, this is where people get a true idea of whom they are talking to and what their goals are. Tinder is notoriously known as an app people use to find someone for a one-night stand and not something serious. But for others, this is when the foundation of a true relationship is made. Rider University junior Emily Petrie met her boyfriend Nate on Tinder.
I matched with Nate it was after work one night, and I actually downloaded it the night that we started talking, and my friend was like telling me to do it because I recently broke up with a boyfriend and I didn't really want to talk to people from around the area because I wanted to get away from my town. And so we matched one night, and like 5 minutes after we matched, he messaged me and just said hey, and we just had like a normal conversation.
Emily goes on to explain how getting to know Nate before their first date eased a lot of the initial dating stress.
Meeting in person's a little awkward, so like having a conversation and kind of getting to know each other before any physical contact or conversations or anything. So that was kind of cool to get to really like have meaningful conversations before even meeting him.
Social psychology professor Dr. Musamechi Sabo of Rider University explains why getting to know someone online like this can be helpful when beginning the dating process.
The fact that you've got this buffer between you and the actual person giving you the feedback, that probably reduces some of the stress, because traditional dating requires a lot of bravery.
Tinder's design, however, reflects some aspects of meeting someone face-to-face. Even before messaging can begin, the user must make a quick judgment based on appearances and surface-level commonalities on whether or not they think they would like this person.
If I'm just getting this snapshot of their face or a limited number of photos, I don't have the opportunity to find out anything more. So I'm quickly relying on these snap judgments. I'm relying on stereotypes, relying on things that may not be true about the individual.
It's also difficult to know who is interested in a serious relationship and who is just on the app for fun. Many people send and receive inappropriate messages rather than having a true conversation. Entertainment media websites like BuzzFeed.com often release articles about Tinder, like one that asks the question, "What's the weirdest Tinder message you've ever received?" The article features screen caps sent in by readers of the ridiculous and often sexually explicit one-liners that they've received using the app. Emily says that although she encountered some people like this on the app, this idea of people being hit or miss is something that isn't new.
But it's like anywhere, you're really going to meet someone that either wants to hook up or they want something more. You meet them at parties, you meet them at, any kind of event. So it's the same thing, really.
Dr. Musamechi Sabo explains that since the beginning of the internet's existence, we have seen dating influenced by technology.
Before we had online dating, we had online chat forums. where it was, again, this idea that you could have a conversation with someone who you never had met, but you had something in common.
No matter where people go looking for relationships, they take a risk. Even if it's just deciding to be the first one to send the message on Tinder. Emily encourages those who have considered using Tinder to try something new and download the app.
There's like really, really great things out there, and if you get past the it's just a hookup app or it's just this, it's just that, then, you know, there's going to be great opportunities that you would have never gotten otherwise.
If you would like to download Tinder on your phone, you can find it in the Apple App Store or the Android market.
Thank you, Maddie. Now, something else that allows our very own Rider University students to release their stress through various ways is brown water. Here's Giancarlo Aversa with the story.
College is a time for young men and women to explore their talents and find new avenues of self-expression. Those with a knack for the performing arts need space and an audience to serve as an outlet for their creativity, and they can get both at Brownwater Coffee House.
Destiny isn't a quest with predetermined answers. I chase for them. I had a taste for the mistakes, so I made them again and again. Still leads to meeting you in this room.
Every great act started out small, and every small act started somewhere. For those looking to make their living on stage, figuring out where to start is one of the most important questions of their careers. For students at Rider University and for local residents, that place can be Brownwater. Brownwater Coffee House is an open mic event held every Wednesday from 9 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. in the Rider University pub. Anyone with an act to perform can sign up for an open spot and step in front of the audience. Rider students are favored, but Brownwater welcomes all comers.
Brownwater is all about open mic, freedom of speech, and any artist of any performing arts background, whether it be rapping, singing, comedy, dance, or anything else that pertains to performing arts and being on stage in front of a group of people.
Performers at Brownwater, like those at other open mics, often use it as a way to try out new material or routines, let off some steam, or just to give the audience a good show.
I've been able to take my experiences here and go to other open mics and other shows and expand my reach.
As fun as open mics can be, for most, standing in front of an audience is often a stressful experience, and unfamiliarity with being on stage can lead to a less effective performance. Philip Orr, a music professor at Rider University, is no stranger to stage fright.
Well, the impulse to perform is a natural human activity. People want to express themselves, but at a certain point somebody says, you know, that's the best you've ever done that, and then they start a layer of self-consciousness, judging themselves against past performances and against other people's performances, and they have a fear of how this particular performance may be judged. And to avoid that, we often judge ourselves rather harshly, as it turns out, and not fairly.
I mean, I do get a little shaky sometimes, but you know, watching other people go up and do it still motivates me to do it.
Brownwater has been active for over 15 years, and it doesn't look to be closing shop anytime soon. As long as there are those who want to perform, Brownwater can be their stage.
Anybody who wants to get it off their chest, or anybody who has public speaking problems, anybody who is aspiring artist and they're trying to get their stage presence worked out, they can do that here.
To find out more about Brownwater, like their Facebook page below.
Well, that about wraps up our special edition of Monday Magazine. I'm Daisy Rivadeneira. Until next time.